So there's a lot going on in this month. A lot of activations, a lot of clearing, a lot of this and a lot of that. Hey, it's Coach Hunt. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing well. As always, it is cold here up in this state where I am. And I just wanted to come and bring into this new video about activations. A lot of people want to activate a lot of things in their lives, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Knowing who you are is quite the I'm not going to say challenge, but the journey, because that's what this life is about. It's about the journey. We come to this playground and we have fun, we create, we play, we learn, because that's what this earth is. It's a playground. But how we activate new opportunities into our lives is, I believe, in multiple ways. I don't believe anybody can do it wrong, but they do have a special, unique way within themselves and within their blueprint that requires a lot of activation or acknowledgement that they even exist. At least that's how I see it. So, what I mean by self, understanding the self, who you are and what you're doing. For me, this self is an acronym, the soul evolving life force. So when you think about yourself and how you envision that self to animate in this world, what to look like, how to feel, and how to experience, then you know that it's an evolution. It's from one stage to another. It's from A to B, or from B to Z, or from Z to J, or it doesn't matter where you go and how you zigzag on the timeline. But the activations that for me that is more relevant to my blueprint, to my soul worth, to who I am, it has to be a part of that. What did I love to do in before the age of 5? Like, what ignited me? What excited me? Was I that singer? Was I the dancer? Was I the thinker, the ponderer? Was I the one who loved to say, to talk and ask questions? What were you doing that lit you up when you were a child? For me, it was quiet time, play time, and imagination time within within my soul self as a child. I remember, even though I'm not an only child, I had a brother, but my playtime for myself was immaculate. I used my imagination for all types of things and I saw things. So recently, I remembered a little bit of a disappointment because when I was young, I buried change into the garden. So my grandmother was a gardener and she, garden, the regular stuff, greens, tomatoes. We had a grapevine. We had sugar cane. We had all kind of stuff. So I remember, so of course, watching her. At one point, I took some change and I just knew I was going to grow a money tree. Yes, I did. My imagination, and I knew I had enough magic and enough skills by watching my grandmother and how she tilled the soil and she watered it and she did everything she did that my money tree would grow. And then, reality hit, disappointment hit when years later, when I recalled that I even had a money tree. Because, when you put your magic out there, you just put your magic out there and it didn't grow. But that's because in reality, change doesn't is not a seed, not in the form that I had it, not in its material form. But I knew I had magic because I had magic in other areas of my life. One of the things that stole my magic, or what I thought magic was also television. Bear with me, bear with me. One time I was watching Sesame Street, and I was watching Cookie Monster. He was doing his thing, he was eating his cookies. And then I realized with my physical eyes that Cookie Monster was no longer eating his cookies. They were just being crumbled up and they were falling. You talk about a child who lost their wonder, their sense of wonder in that time. And I speak to that child now and remind her that television magic is different from my own personal magic. And so myself now realizes that my imagination, which I see images all the time, and my writing ability, which is also a part of my how do I want to say my magic, because what I see here I like to put down, and our words are one of those things that we speak because of vibration, but when we also write, when pen to paper or charcoal to paper or even paint to paper or sculptures, anything that we do with our body is vibrating. It's making a sound whether we hear it or not. Just like dogs and cats can hear sounds beyond our human understanding, there's a lot of sound in this world. If we could hear every sound in this world, we would want to be deaf. It's the same thing. If we saw everything in an energetic form, we would want to be blind because it'd be too much for this human body. So, going back to activation, what did you used to do? Or what do you remember doing that just lit you up? Because to me, that's what an activation is. It's something that reignites you, it lights you up for you to take in and move forward. If you are a musician and you hit pots and pans, then you know music is part of your activation of how you want to see yourself in the new era, in this new year that is formulating on this particular timeline. I invite you to go back and just take some time to just move into that little person within yourself, within that soul person who was once a child, and see what they loved the most. Because that's where your power really truly lies. At least that's my truth. And I'm believing that that's your truth and it's a universal truth. Because when we get into that state, that God state of flow and of love for ourselves through divine love, then we are activating all the type of vibrations that we need that we want to manifest. I'm for real. Think about it. Just think about when the last time you were in true flow. What were you doing? Put it in the comments. And were you doing the same thing when you were a child? Put it in the comments. And if you're in that flow state and you're able to think of a wish or a wonder or a dream, and you all of a sudden have synchronicities to get you that way, then you know that activation brought in that material thing. So I'll give you another example. I have recently connected a cord to myself regarding more joy. And so when I'm pulling in more joy for my life, I decide to just remind myself where the cord is, which is on my right hand, and I pull in more joy. I look for the energy of more joy, and I feel that within my body with more joy. And then before I know it, someone buys something for me. It brings me joy. So I win something that brings me joy. I see I got a new subscriber. Thank you. And it brings me joy. So that is activation. That is truly your soul activating the self. The soul activating the self because the self is your soul evolving life force. At least that's the acronym I have for self. And yeah, that's it. That's all. That's all I have to say for today. I love you so much. This is Coach Hunt. I have your greatest interest at heart. If you're willing to move forward and be able to write a new activation for yourself for 2026, come with me for the discovery letter. The experience for this year is called From Dear Diary to Dear Me. And I look forward to seeing you in the room. In the Zoom place, that is. That information will be in the description box. And again, I love you guys so much. I have your greatest interest at heart. Bye.